Okay, welcome back. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something maybe a little unexpected. The lyrics of Miley Cyrus's song, Something Beautiful.
Right. Not your typical deep dive source, maybe, but there's a lot here.
Exactly. We've got the YouTube transcript and this really quite insightful analytical briefing doc.
Hmm.
And our mission really is to dig into these words and see what they might tell us about, our own need for connection, how we look for beauty.
That search for meaning, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe just to start, think for a second.
Right.
What does that phrase, something beautiful tonight, actually bring up for you?
That's a good starting point. Because diving in, the first thing, honestly, that just grabs you is that insistence, right? That line, tell me something beautiful tonight until your lips turn blue.
Oh, yeah.
It's repeated, and
Oh, it's intense.
it really is, until your lips turn blue. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. That's not just say something nice.
No, it feels like a desperate need almost, a need for something continuous. So what do you think is driving that really profound demand for beauty spoken over and over?
Well, it hints at maybe an underlying fragility or um, maybe a struggle to find beauty right now in this moment,
Okay.
you know? And repeating it could be like trying to constantly reinforce it, maybe to push back against something less beautiful that's being felt.
Right, like an antidote.
Exactly. It
Hmm.
makes you think about how we often look outside ourselves, for validation, that the things we hope are true, like beauty existing, actually are.
That makes sense. And then there's this really interesting change up. Said I don't want to talk about it for too long, baby. Now I think I do.
Yeah, that's a big shift.
Huge. What do you read into that? Suddenly being willing to talk about something avoided before.
It could be a few things, I think. Maybe the relationship deepened, more trust, or um, maybe just a personal realization that avoiding it isn't working anymore.
Hmm.
And the next line is kind of intriguing too, right?
Mm.
What did the red wine get in the deal time? Oh my God.
Yeah, what about that?
Well, it suggests, kind of lightly, that maybe something external like, inhibitions loosening up a bit.
Ah, the wine effect.
Maybe. Maybe it played a role in opening that door. Have you
Okay.
noticed that? How sometimes the setting, or yeah, maybe a drink, just makes those tough talks feel a bit more possible.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes you just need that little nudge or the right atmosphere to feel like safe enough.
Exactly.
So, okay, right after this willingness to talk, we get this really stark contrast in images.
Yeah, it's quite jarring.
Watching the duds cry in a sunrise, a flash bang, sparks on the go, and lay down your arms, and then boom, right back to,
Yeah.
yes, tell me something beautiful about this world.
That juxtaposition is powerful.
Yeah.
It really throws into relief that human thing of trying to find hope even when things are difficult, right?
Literally.
The duds cry, the flash bang, laying down arms. That sounds like struggle, maybe conflict ending, or just feeling disillusioned.
Yeah, bleak stuff.
And then putting that right next to the plea for beauty, it just underlines how much we need to find the positive, maybe even force ourselves to focus on it when things are tough, like actively looking for light in the dark.
That makes sense. And that kind of leads into this really powerful bit about connection, doesn't it?
It does.
And I'm in your world. I'm like a girl. Tell me something I can hold on to, who I belong to. That feeling of being totally immersed, finding belonging. It's so fundamental.
It really is. I'm in your world.
Mm.
That's deep intimacy, right?
Mm.
Trust. Even like merging realities a bit.
Yeah. And what about I'm like a girl? What's your take on that simile?
What's interesting, isn't it? It could mean maybe dropping defenses, becoming vulnerable, open,
Mm-hmm. Tenderness, maybe.
or even like a complete trusting surrender within that connection.
Yeah.
And needing something I can hold on to that just emphasizes wanting stability, reassurance within that belonging. That feeling is just so crucial, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does that idea of really belonging resonate with for you?
Oh, it just makes me think of that safety and security you feel when you know someone truly gets you, accepts you.
Exactly.
And then right after that really intimate moment, we get this incredibly strong statement. A diamond devotion as deep as the ocean.
Wow. Yeah. That paints a picture, doesn't it?
Totally. Unwavering, massive commitment.
It's such a potent metaphor.
Mm.
Diamond for permanence, resilience, ocean for vastness, depth. So love that's both forever and huge.
But then what's fascinating is what comes like immediately after.
Right. The plea.
That vulnerable, almost desperate, so don't let me go, no, no, no.
Yeah. That shift is really something. From declaring this immense devotion to suddenly begging not to be let go.
It really underscores how precious that bond must feel and the fear underneath it all, right? The fear
Yeah.
of losing it.
Exactly. It's like the deeper the connection, maybe the greater the potential
Yeah,
fear.
the vulnerability.
It highlights that delicate balance in deep relationships. The strength doesn't cancel out the fear of fragility. It's such a human thing, isn't it? The more you invest, the more you stand to lose emotionally.
Hmm.
What is that specific back and forth, the big declaration, then the plea, make you think about in terms of close relationships?
Hmm. It makes me think that even the biggest, most confident expressions of love often have that fundamental human need for security woven into them, that need for reassurance.
Well put.
And then the song kind of ends or nears the end with these really intense sensory images.
Yeah, shifts the
Yeah, like black spark, light up the dark, boom, boom, heat a bear, heat. It's like this burst of pure energy.
It becomes much more visceral, yeah, dynamic. Black spark, light up the dark.
Hmm.
What could that be? Maybe those moments of intense connection or insight that pierce through difficulty.
Ooh, I like it.
And the repetition, boom, boo, heat,
Yeah.
heat. It just creates this feeling of heightened emotion. Maybe it's a passion in the relationship. Or maybe the intense energy needed to overcome stuff together.
Could be either or both.
It leaves you with this feeling of, like, raw intensity. And maybe the resilience that comes out of navigating tough times.
Mm.
When you hear that kind of imagery, that really primal sound and feeling, what does it bring up for you?
It definitely makes me think of those moments of real, intense connection, that spark, or yeah, that feeling of pushing through something hard and coming out the other side with like renewed energy.
Precisely. A sense of dynamism.
Hmm.
Even in darkness, there can be these bursts of intense light, powerful connection.
So, wow. Looking back, we've kind of touched on this deep, deep yearning for beauty, for reassurance. That key moment of deciding to actually talk, to open up.
That shift, yeah.
The stark contrast between, harsh reality and the beauty that's so desperately wanted, that
Yeah.
profound sense of belonging, being in someone's
It's
world,
deep connection.
and then that diamond devotion right next to the fear of loss.
That paradox.
And finishing with those intense images of light and heat overcoming darkness, it's a really layered emotional journey. And just these lyrics.
It really is. Which maybe leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
What role does actively seeking beauty and building those deep connections actually play in how we handle life's difficulties? The unavoidable challenges.
Hmm.
And what kind of courage does it take to be vulnerable enough to say, tell me something beautiful, or to offer that kind of diamond devotion?
Yeah, that vulnerability piece is key.
And maybe, just maybe, embracing that vulnerability, actively looking for the beautiful, could that actually be the light that helps guide us through the darker times? Definitely something to reflect on in your own experience.